what is going on? Today we're going to be reviewing Physconut for Dipsomania, released on April 23rd, 2015 on Talheim Records. Now, Physconut 4 is a DSBM band from Tbilisi, Georgia, formed in July 2010. The lineup consists of Andre on songwriting, Alex on bass, Drifter on guitars and harsh vocals, Graf von Baphomet vocals. He's also the lead member of the band. Nefo on drums, SD Ramirez on guitar and vocals, clean vocals, and he's also got some narration on track 6. Front artwork is by Maxime Takardi. I have no clue if I'm pronouncing any of this right. If I'm getting it wrong, I'm sorry. Design and layout is by Depressive Visions. Now, this is a great album. If you're into any DSBM, I would recommend to check it out. Physconut 4, another more of a beginner DSBM band, I will state that right now. So they're not obviously going to be as good as, Zaster or, any other DSBM bands. But that's just my opinion. Of course, they're still a pretty good band for what they are, If you're into DSBM and you haven't checked out this band yet, I would recommend you check it out. It's pretty fucking good. Now, the lyrics are mainly on this album focused around depression and what it's like inside a depressed person's head whenever they tell no one. This album starts out with an intro that is quite melodic and bone-chilling, strapping you in for this journey you are about to take into the mind of the depressed. Now, the track Beware the Silence almost seems to be about a person who is sick of the world and just wants to end it all because their own self-esteem possibly could be comparing themselves to other people and thinking less of themselves in that way as well. Next up, we got Personal Force, which has an amazing melodic chorus. Is in my personal opinion, this song seems as if it could be about looking around at everyone else's world and seeing the happy parts of their lives, and you act fine, but inside you are slowly dying and falling apart. Now, the track Don't Leave the Room seems to be about someone in his life he cared about possibly turning his back on him and him begging them to stay, or possibly he knows something about the world nobody else does, possibly like a conspiracy theory, or maybe it's like that friend turning his back on him that he always had to trust in, possibly a girlfriend, something like that. It's crazy, man. Now, we have the track Pain Dealer, which seems like what it is like in a depressed person's mind, possibly someone who is depressed but too afraid to die and ends up living in misery and sadness. I will say, if you're going through any of these thoughts right now, I would reach out for help. It's best to get help rather than just sit there and live in misery and pain, because that path doesn't end well, trust me. The track Alcoholism seems as if it's a person who had a hatred for life and wants to end it all. When he talks about the sick thought in his head, this could possibly be what he was referring to as the depression in his head. Suicide is Legal is about someone wanting to slowly drink themselves to death and remembers that alcohol is legal and will keep trying and keep lying to people's face until he gets up enough motivation to either commit suicide or drink themselves to death. Now, we have the track We Will Never Find the Cure, and this track seems to continue the drunken delirium of him possibly slowly dying from alcohol poison of some sort. And by We Will Never Find the Cure, I think he means we will never truly find the cure for depression. Next up, we got How Much for the Hope. Now, this track is basically begging for some hope in his life, as possibly at the time he was only, it was just only him there, and he was very lonely and possibly running off of drunken thoughts and emotions, since earlier he mentioned that he wanted to drink himself to death. Now, the track Moldy is about drinking yourself to death and possibly your thoughts while doing so, and about the thoughts he could never escape the whole time. Possibly he was dying of alcohol poisoning. Who knows, man? Now, the final track on the album is called Eyes of the Homeless Dog. Now, this is a very interesting one to me, man, because, you can kind of look at a dog, man. Even though you can't tell what they're saying, you can kind of look at a dog and you can kind of tell what's going on with him. Possibly he was taking a walk or something. He looked in the eyes of this dog, probably saw it was homeless, and he probably saw that the dog was going through some similar emotions that he was going through at the time. Or maybe he related it to his situation. Who knows, man? Now that concludes this album review for Psychonauts 4's Dipsomania. Now, tell me what you guys think of the album in the comments down below. You know, me personally, I give this album a solid 7 out of 10. You know, I feel like this album, they could have added more stuff in to make it more heavier, more interesting. The melodic parts, they could have possibly added them in and made, you know, the screeching heavier and more emotional filled. Now, by no means does this take away from the album. It's still an amazing album. 7 out of 10 for me. If you guys would like to see me review any other albums, leave it in the comments below. You know, I'm not very picky. I'll review anything from thrash metal to death metal to black metal, even to DSBM shit, as well as some doom and sludge at times. You know, there's a few genres of metal I don't like. And, you know, in that case, if you know, I just won't review them, you know. But, or, you know, actually, it would be interesting to see me review some albums that I don't like. So you can get, like, more of a perspective on my taste in metal, you know. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, great rest of your day, evening, whatever. Guys, take care. And don't forget to stay fucking metal.